k.d.lang, welcome back to Breakfast.
Thank you.
k.d., it's 20 years since you've made a record with your own band. Back then it was the Reclines, now it's Sis Boom Bang. Is it more fun than going solo?
I am a very collaborative spirit, yes. I love to collaborate, and especially with this band. They have a ton of energy. They're all extraordinarily good musicians, and it just was so natural and so joyous.
Your collaborations are famous, but I imagine it's something different than collaborating with, say, Roy Orbison than a full-on rock band.
Yeah, definitely.
I just wonder if this is your desire to go back with a band to get your own band again. Is there a bit of a midlife crisis thing going on here?
Oh yeah,
you
that's what it is. It's my midlife crisis. I'm glad you suggested that because I hadn't thought of that, but that's probably what it is.
You jokingly said recently you kind of regret producing an album like this one at 50. Does it feel like a renaissance, a musical renaissance for you?
In a way, because it's very kind of reminiscent of my the torch and twang days, the cowpunk days, but it's kind of a culmination of all the things I've done in the past, just kind of focused a little bit more on the alternative country avenue. But I really just felt like singing it loud this time.
Rocking out.
Yeah.
Well, let's remind ourselves of some old k.d. when you were rocking it out with the Reclines. Let's have a bit of a listen.
Hey, hey, the big bone gal, ain't no doubt she's a natural, shaking and snaking and breaking up across the floor. Hey, hey, the big bone gal.
People have been line dancing to that song around the globe for decades now. Where do you go in your head when you hear these old tracks today?
Oh, definitely to the skirts and the boots and performing, and usually somewhere in Canada, because I was in Canada a lot. On Big Bone Gal, we had a neighbor named Doris Howe, and she was quite a big bone gal. And my mom would come back from the dances on Saturday night and go, "Oh, that Doris Howe, she's a big bone woman, but she dances so beautifully."
Big bone girls all around the world love that song.
Yeah.
Will Sis Boom Bang, your new band, be playing any of the Reclines material?
Not any of the Reclines. No, maybe that's a good point, but no, we didn't work anything up so far.
But they do play with you some covers of old k.d.?
Yeah, they do some old k.d., yeah.
You've talked about the chemistry with your band. You love it. You like being up there as part of a gang. What about your chemistry with Joe Pisapia? I guess you could call him a collaborator on this album.
Yeah,
How did that meeting come apart?
We met through a mutual friend of ours backstage at the Ryman Auditorium, which is the Grand Ole Opry, the original Grand Ole Opry. And the second I saw him, I just felt something. And so as soon as I was done touring, I went down to Nashville and we wrote 2 songs immediately. And it was just love at first sight, really, and the chemistry was there.
Why? What was the love about?
I don't know. He's very unrestrained. He has an infinite amount of creative energy. And when someone has those 2 things, it gives you a safety net to just explore all your different ideas. Just throw spaghetti against the wall, just kind of thing. And we just really allowed each other the liberty and space to be totally creative.
Talking about creative energy, when we spoke to you around this time last year on Breakfast, you just released your CD retrospective set called Recollection, and you talked then about your fears as a singer and a songwriter. Let's just have a listen.
Every day is a struggle, and you wonder if the taps of creativity will be shut off, or if, you're going to put on a show and there's not going to be an audience there for you. But I never ever take it for granted, and I'm always have a deep gratitude for the fact that I can sing and I still have an audience.
k.d., it sounds like the taps of creativity are flowing full and fast at the moment. You penned a good part of this album.
Yeah.
So you're not having any trouble, you're not having writer's block at the moment?
No writer's block.
And how is that process? Has it changed over the years, the process of writing and making an album?
Yeah, it is certainly ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's an arduous task. Sometimes it's very, very easy and natural, like it was on this record.
And do you do it at home? Or I think some of this record you actually recorded live, did you?
A large part of that record is live. We recorded in Joe's studio in Nashville, Tennessee. We did most of the writing in Nashville.
Is that sort of thing, deciding to record it as you perform it live, is that something you can do? Can you take more risks the longer you're in your career and the further ahead you get in your career?
I guess that would depend on the individual. I think it can be completely the opposite. I think people play it more and more safe and more conservative, or they start just not caring and really focusing on the art.
How is it for you? Do you feel the pressure of expectation, or do you
No,
feel
actually,
like...
I don't, because I think I'm on a great label. None Such is very art oriented, and I've accomplished pretty much artistically a lot that I've wanted, that I had my aspirations for. So now it's just a matter of just having fun.
Life without you only brought me heartache. I've had all the lonely I can take. Now I know the letting go was my mistake. I'm saying again and again and again, I confess I need you.
You've done some wonderful covers over your career. Crying with Roy Orbison, Hallelujah, beautiful. This album has a couple of covers on it. You've covered the Talking Heads track Heaven and the Little River Band's track Reminiscing. Now, those two bands and those two tracks are worlds apart. Glenn Shorrock and David Boone. How did you come to those two?
Well, Heaven was a song that I've always heard as a country song and always wanted to cover. Also, from a Buddhist perspective, I love the concept that heaven has nothing ever happens. I love that.
It is a great line.
Yeah, and Reminiscing, I was asked by the Australian record company to do a cover for the Australian release, and so we were working on something and it just wasn't going anywhere, and then we kind of scrapped it, and Daniel went, "What about Reminiscing?" And we were all like, "Yeah, I love that song."
Give us a clue. What were you working on?
No.
Oh, come on. What missed out?
Nope.
We're going to spend the next 3 years guessing. Sing It Loud, the album, is released today in Australia before it's released in the States. Are you suggesting, is this a different version? This one will have Reminiscing and the American one won't?
The American proper release has 10 songs. The Australian has 11. And on the k.d.lang.com, you can get all the complete sessions, which is all 14 songs that we recorded.
Okay, so why are you doing it differently and early in Australia? Is it because you love us or because we're guinea pigs?
Guinea pigs. No, I think it's because I love you. It just worked out that way. I'm happy to be here for the release, and I just think, I don't know, it's kind of beyond me. It's the business part.
It's a bit special what you're doing here in Australia at the moment. You're not doing concerts at the moment. You're just doing a promo tour, but you are doing one special performance for ABC listeners in Melbourne.
That's
How
right.
did that come about?
I was asked to do it. Are you kidding? I would jump at the chance. Anytime we have a chance to play the music, we're in.
So why did you just choose one concert this time?
I think that's all we have time for. We're off to LA, New York, London, then back to Toronto. So we're kind of pushing it.
You will be back in the country touring in November. You're a fairly frequent visitor here, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Do you have a special relationship with Australia? Are our audience, is the Australian audience a special audience for you or consumer of you?
I mean, I hope this doesn't play in Canada, but yes, I think Australia is my favorite place, my favorite relationship to my fans, and I mean, Canada is my home, so it's a totally different thing. But Australia is my biggest market, and it's the nicest place to play. So I'm really happy that it's my biggest market. It's because I get to come down here all the time.
You do know with the World Wide Web you're in trouble now in Canada.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, but I said I have a special relationship with Canada.
When you are here, where do you spend time? Do you get a chance to look about?
Yeah, I generally just walk around in the park, along the, just
in the
down
cities.
In the cities, yeah. I never have time to go out.
So you haven't
in the country? No, I haven't.
I understand you said recently you love Melbourne and you'd like to live there part-time. Now, interestingly enough, Chrissie Hynde, when she was here with the Pretenders last year, said the same thing.
No,
what is it about rock stars in Melbourne?
Chrissie doesn't know anything. She was just copying me.
She was copying you?
Yeah.
What's so special about Melbourne?
It's got a vibe. Melbourne's got a vibe. It's, to me, it feels like New York. It's got some sort of... There's a sophistication, but it's kind of artsy at the same time. It's got a nice vibe.
That's a big call. k.d.lang, away from music for a moment, there's a big debate going on in this country at the moment about gay marriage. It's illegal here. It's not illegal in your home country of Canada. It's been legal there since 2005. Do you have a sense of whether it's accepted in Canada now? Does it still cause ructions?
Well, I think it will for a long time. It depends on where you're coming from. I think, for I guess people like the Christians and the Muslims, it's against the basic grain of their understanding. But I think the most important thing to realize is that in legal terms, there should be a separation of church and state. It should be a protection of human rights, and that if someone chooses to marry a same-sex partner, they should have the same legal protection and tax implications as their heterosexual counterparts.
And now that it is law in your country, do most people see it that way, do you think?
Yeah, I think that it just becomes the norm. It's just it doesn't really affect other people's lives.
k.d.lang, it's a pleasure to have you on Breakfast. The new album, Sing It Loud. I'd love to get you to do it right now, but I know it is early. This is Breakfast Radio.
You were there playing in the sunshine, imagination going into overtime. There's no way the world could weigh you down.
Loving that. That's Sing It Loud. That is Sing It Loud. k.d.lang with her band Sis Boom Bang. Thanks very much for joining us again on
My pleasure.
Breakfast.